Clash of Clans podcast, special episode number 3. Hey guys, this is Scotty from Clash of Clans podcast.com. Just wanted to tell you a little bit about episode number 3. It is actually a 2 or 3 part episode. It's one of the special episodes with a guest host, and this week it was Boaz. So we got together and recorded last week, and so here is the first part of our interview together, I guess. And so we'll be continuing in the next episodes. Thank you all for all the great support and willingness to want to come on the podcast. I think that's great. We're going to, I think, make it a regular part every week. So keep the emails coming in. All right. Welcome back to the Clash of Clans podcast. It is Scotty coming to you live from the WBSMT studio. That's my basement. Coming to you live with Boaz, our special guest host. Boaz.
Hi, everybody.
Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Boaz. I live in Plymouth, Minnesota, not too far from Scotty and Boneyard.
I can't believe you're not in Minnesota nice.
I know, but I have a clan to which I'm very loyal. So my clan is called the True Sons.
The True Sons. How do you spell it?
True Sons. The TRUESONS.
Okay, so just like normal.
Yeah, and it's
because you never know in this game, you know.
That's true. There's some weird spellings and stuff.
Yeah. So,
but yeah, we recently made this clan, but it's the same guys who have been together for quite a while. So.
Okay. So you're in the True Sons.
Mm-hmm.
How long have you been there? So
I started playing Clash of Clans in, I guess, about March of this year.
Holy shit.
Yeah, and my first ever clan was Minnesota Vikings clan.
Oh, okay, really?
Yeah, I had no idea what to look for in a clan. I didn't have any real life friends that were playing except for a couple younger nephews, and so I joined a Minnesota Vikings clan, and I thought it was pretty cool. In retrospect, it was pretty terrible. It was
really?
maybe 12 guys. Absolutely very, very little activity, terrible donations, terrible, take forever to get donations. And
okay.
It was just not a good situation. But at the time I was like, oh, this clan is so cool. I feel loyal to this clan. But yeah, it was.
I don't know if you remember the first episodes, but me and Boneyard were in a clan by ourselves for like a month and a half. And then one day he was gone. And I was like, what the hell? He left me? But it was like slow donations coming in, stuff like that. And it was like.
It's the same kind of situation where you don't really know what you're missing, at first until you're actually in a good clan later on. So
it was only like 12 people?
Yeah, it was about 12 people. There was various levels. The top people were maybe like 40s, I'd say. That seemed really, really high at that time. Like, oh my God, level 40. These people are big time. Yeah. And so once I got up towards the top of the clan, and I just realized that it wasn't really doing anything for me, and I was kind of curious about other clans, then I started looking around and immediately discovered that that was not a good clan situation there.
So what'd you do? I mean, how'd you go looking for it?
Well, so I'm a big fan of. Well, see, I really didn't know, what to look for, how to go about, because there's, as you know, so many thousands upon thousands of clans out there.
Yeah, join me.
Yeah, and I did not fish around on global. That was never how.
Sounds like a bunch of rapists on the global chat.
Well, especially when the guys say, "There any girls here? Hey, are there any girls here?" And that's just the creepiest thing ever.
Yeah, join me.
But yeah, so I've always kind of gone and shopped around for clans, on my own, and So the first thing, I'm
So
a
what do you mean
big.
shop around? How'd you do it?
Well, the first time when I went to the Vikings clan, I just searched Minnesota Vikings, picked out the most, I don't know, just seemed like the most active, coolest looking clan out of the options. Um, and then the second time, I really don't remember exactly how I ended up with this, but I'm a big fan of Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah.
So I was looking for Game of Thrones themed
Lannister
clans.
bastard.
And because that, I was in the middle of, probably the second season or something, and
Yeah.
just
And you haven't
couldn't.
read the books.
No, I have not read the books. I
Oh.
intentionally haven't read the books because I've heard that it can ruin the show for you. So I might read the
No,
books after
you know
I'm
what?
done.
I'll interject here just really quick. Not in the end of the. It is the best adaptation from book to series that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Totally.
Well, I don't want it to get ruined for me either, like to find out what's going to happen in advance, and like, well, I guess I don't want to talk about specifics. I don't want spoilers for anyone, but like you
Yeah.
guys, I guess you already mentioned
Like the wedding,
yeah, the wedding. You guys already mentioned that before, so
but
that
we didn't
was
say what was.
what happened or
Yeah.
anything. But yeah, so I won't give anything away, but yeah, so I think though, I mean, once I'm done watching the show, once that ends, I'm sure I'll read the books because I'll be in total, Game of Thrones withdrawal. So that's what was happening when I was looking for a clan. I think it was probably between seasons, like, thinking about Game of Thrones, what was going to happen next. And so I looked for Game of Thrones themed clans, and I came across this clan family called Clash of Thrones. And
Ooh.
it was, I don't remember. I think maybe, I don't know if it was in the game that I saw it or actually searching online, but they have a website. And so I went on the website, I signed up. It's a family consisting of about a dozen clans that are
Holy
all,
shit! A dozen?
they all feed into each other. So there's clans at each level, and players get promoted through the clans until they get to the top, level theoretically. So I signed up on the website. I got placed into a clan, which was called the Iron Sons. My
Mm.
first clan that I was,
This,
extremely
this sounds
loyal
really
to.
cool. I mean, the whole
Yeah, it
concept of
was.
it.
In theory, it's an awesome concept, and I was just really enamored by it and super into it. I would go on the website, and there was all sorts of tips and stuff that people would put on there, but also a lot of ideas for how the hierarchy would work, transferring players among the clans and all that kind of stuff. And really, in theory, it sounds great to, as you get better, to move up, within the clans. But the issue is that when you're in a clan, you form a bond with the players in that clan. And so
Oh.
you don't really want, like, thinking about it, like, oh yeah, that's cool, but you don't want to leave your friends,
Yeah.
and so that was a big issue with their whole promotion system, is that people would kind of, form bonds
Bonds.
and friendships with their fellow clanmates, and they wouldn't want to get,
Yeah.
promoted up the ranks.
You
And
know, it sounds a lot like Game of Thrones, where you get into a different situation and they rip you away from everything familiar and
mhm,
put you in out of duty.
that's true, that's a good point
You
actually.
know?
But yeah, so yeah, exactly. Out of a sense of duty, you're supposed to promote through the ranks for the good of the clan, to keep things. But so people don't really, for the most part, like to do that. They like to stay with their friends, and so it would get kind of out of whack. The lower level feeder clans would have two, high of level players in them because people didn't want to leave each other, and so then the top leadership people would try to force people to move, and caused a lot of issues. There was a kind of a small exodus that happened right around when I started, where one clan who didn't want to separate to move around, they just left, and it was a big
They called
big
themselves
deal.
Valeris.
They they are called Storm of Swords was their new
Ooh.
clan that they made, Storm of Swords. And so at the time I was like, well, those guys are douchebags, like why would you want to leave this, Clash of Thrones? It's the coolest thing ever. And so eventually I became an elder in my clan, which was a huge deal to me at that time because everything was so organized in a hierarchy, and it was extremely competitive who would get elder. And so I had lots of donations, was very active in the chat and stuff. And so I was promoted to elder, and I thought that was very cool. And then my fellow group of elders, there's about 10 to 12 of us. We became really close, and we didn't want to move out of our clan, and we kind of had an excuse not to because we were the elders, and so
We
we could kind
control
of,
the North.
yeah. Exactly. We were over on the Iron Islands there.
Yeah.
But so then there was just a lot of issues with the top leadership in the clans. The Iron Throne was their flagship clan. It was a top 10 clan for a very long time. And something I didn't realize when I first started playing, when I would look and say, oh, Jorge Yao or, George Yao or whatever, and all those
We
people,
call him,
that's so
I guess
cool.
we're going to keep calling him Jorge. And
Yeah.
Boneyard will keep doing it with a Spanish accent, which mixes in with German sometimes.
If he pronounces his name George, then he's an idiot. So he should just pronounce it Jorge
Jorge.
anyway. So
Yeah.
I mean, because that's what it is. So
Well, because you can't be like number one, formerly number one, and spending, and it's fine spending your gems if that's how you want to do it. But I'll always pronounce it with Jorge.
Jorge Yao. Jorge Yao.
Yes. With a little bit of vehemence, I don't know, venom or whatever it's.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. But yeah, so at the beginning you think, well, that's my, someday I'll, achieve that spot. And it's not till you've been playing for a while that you realize that all those people at the top spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on gems just to stay at the top there. And so after a while I realized that and in Clash of Thrones the top people would all just spend buckets of money to stay up there. And so it wasn't really,
So they were all doing that.
they were all doing, because they were a top 10 clan, which is out of however many thousands of clans, is a pretty big deal to be top 10. But you have to spend a lot of money. All your players have to spend money to stay up there.
I kind of think of it as like the jocks in high school.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, our clique's pretty cool. It would be, cool to be you guys, but not really. Because then you'd all be defending your throne the whole time, right?
Well, that's the thing. It's you're just swimming against the tide the whole time, trying to keep your spot and spending money to. But so the people at the top, that was their only concern, was that this clan, the Iron Throne would stay at the top, or try to get it to number one. And so they didn't really
They
care
didn't
too
know
much
they were
about
fucking with Jorge.
Well, they weren't in Jorge's league. They were far from North 44, so they weren't going to be giving him any trouble.
Did you ever see North 44's website?
No, I haven't. Actually, my clan, or my former clan, now spoiler alert, is the only website I've seen. So
yeah, I went to North 44's website, and it was a really nice website that had some really good deals.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was like, well, these people are really kind, and and stuff like
That's
that.
cool.
But of course, there's no way of getting there to the kindness.
Yeah.
They're like utopia. But
when they must all be, I don't know, trust fund babies or something to be able to spend, so much money on their gems. But that's their choice.
I'm not going to say it.
don't want to offend anyone.
Or Supercell. I mean,
yeah. Oh yeah,
because everybody, everybody,
rumors,
has to. Everybody has their thing, but
I've heard a lot of rumors of, sexual favors that Jorge Yao did for Supercell employees and stuff, but I don't think there's actually any truth
He
to
tried
that.
to blow me for this podcast, but I wouldn't let him on.
Yeah, he
Just
was going to
kidding.
be on there. He must have just decided not to
Yeah,
do it.
he was
backed
after
out.
it, but I wouldn't let him on.
But okay, so this clan, they didn't, the people who were calling the shots, they didn't care about the lower clans, and it just became a big issue. They
Power
threatened
play.
to get rid of some of the lower clans, and they would, when people were recruited, they would make sure to ask if they gemmed, quote unquote, so they could try to concentrate on getting those players up to the higher clans, because they're the only ones that are actually going to be able to contribute. The people that, the gemmers, the ones that spend a lot of gems.
And that was the first time I ever heard that was when we did the interview with Lugia and Blaze Dragon from the wiki. Gemmers.
That term.
Yeah, I had no idea what that was. And I've learned a lot, doing the podcast or whatever. But I had never heard that term before. But I just go, well, I'm gemming. I collect my wood. It's like 3 gems a day.
Yeah, we're all gemming. We're just chopping down those trees. I think the difference is that they buy, whatever it is, 20,000 gems at a time, whereas we get, 3 gems at a time from our mushrooms or our logs, or
The mushrooms are surprisingly fertile.
Yeah, I think they're the top thing, actually. You wouldn't think that they would be the best one, but I think they're supposed to be
I
the
remember
best.
ripping up those stones going, there's got to be something under here.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I ran into somebody the other day that still had a Christmas tree.
Yeah, I see that once in a while, and they're kind of ugly, so I don't. It's kind of,
especially at this time of year.
Yeah, it just looks.
And there's
kind
like 50,000 gold under there.
Really?
Yeah, under the Christmas trees, there's 50,000 gold for pulling that up.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Oh, I suppose you weren't playing at Christmas.
Yeah, so I've seen screenshots of buildings with snow on them, and I was like, "What's that about?" And so so over the winter they
Oh
do
yeah,
special
I
stuff.
started in September, and then they had a whole Halloween thing. So instead of mushrooms, there would be like jack-o'-lanterns.
Oh, nice.
And then at Christmas, it snowed for like 3 months, maybe.
You could like see it coming from the sky, or just the
Yeah.
buildings with
No,
the
like
snow?
you'd go in and it always looked like it was snowing, and there'd be a little bit of snow, and then a Christmas tree would pop up, and I saved it for a while. But if you harvested one of them, it was like 50,000 gold underneath.
Oh,
So
that's pretty cool.
But
So I could see being like, oh, it's worth it. But then when you have some big upgrade you want, you're just 50,000 away. You're like, oh, fuck it, I better.
yeah, there's nothing that we're 50,000 close to anymore.
That's a good
But
point.
you know what? Keep going with your story. We'll get back to that since
So yeah, it is kind of a saga. So there's all these different clans. The top ones were Winterfell and Nightfort. Besides that,
I remember Winterfell in the looking it up. Yeah, in the rankings.
Yeah, they used to be the top clan for that family. And then I don't know what, for whatever reason, they became the second top clan. But yeah, they used to be the main one, so they were a top 10 clan. So that's interesting that you remembered. Well, it's probably because you're a Game of Thrones fan, so you recognize the
Winterfell.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but,
when I started, who was it? The one. It was like the king of Winterfell, or the one true king, or it was something like that was the top player. Not Jorge.
Really?
Yeah. It was somebody from, I can't remember the name, but yeah, it was like the king of Winterfell or something like that was the top player.
Well, I could see where the, people who are a fan of Game of Thrones would be the same type of people who would be a fan of Clash of Clans. It's the same kind of thing, epic battles, and having castles, etc.
Especially if you go in first and you don't think anybody else can name the clan the same name as yours.
Yeah. Yeah, it took me a while to realize that. And also that you can name, there can be any amount of people with the same username too. So sometimes you'll see people with the name, like for instance, Scotty827. He
Really?
could have just been called Scotty. You know what I mean? And there's all sorts of people who have like these complex names, and then you realize they could have made it whatever they wanted. Do you ever regret making it Scotty827?
No, I did say once that my old handle back when they called
Oh,
them
I
handles
think I remember this. It was
Xace.
yeah.
XACE. Because I was like, that's not, and that's when I was playing like, God, what was it? Like Doom multiplayer or something like that, or
I remember
shit
that.
like that way back in like high school when,
That was
we
the
had a
shit back in the
28
day.
megabyte, 28K modem, but you could still play multiplayer.
Mhm.
And I'm like, that would be a cool name. And then I said on the podcast, and then I fucking saw it online.
Oh yeah, I remember you guys saying that on the podcast that
Yeah.
you saw it.
Yeah. And then I saw it online. And I was like, fucker. So I can never take that. But, I think Scotty827 works for me because, I don't know. It just works.
Oh, it's good because I really don't like it when people have just the name, for instance, Connor or Alex or Josh or something like that, when there's so many of them, so you can't keep them straight. Say there's some asshole named Connor that's a huge bag. He just does all this shitty stuff. You kick him out of your clan.
And then another Connor comes through.
Yeah, another Connor. At one time I was in a clan where there was 3 people named Jack. And there was another time I was in a clan where 3 people named Connor. I don't know is Connor that common of a name? But anyway.
Well, you know what I think it's from?
Hmm.
Terminator.
Oh, or Highlander. I just always assumed
Connor?
that a Connor McLeod, right?
Oh, yeah.
But
I only saw the first one because Boneyard was talking about it. So I've got to go to Highlander too yet and stuff. So,
I just always assumed it was people's names. But yeah, maybe it is something more creative than just their
can I
name.
tell you the coolest name in my clan right now? I think
What?
besides Boots Electric, Boots in the sheets, electric in the Boots in the street, electric in the sheets. That's what I said.
Nice.
Darth Elevator. And
That's great.
and he's an elevator repairman, and I just think that's the coolest name.
There's a guy in one of the clans that I was in who was named Darth Frazier. I guess his last name was Frazier, so I just thought that was kind of cool name.
Not as cool as elevator, but
Yeah, that
okay.
is
So
better.
continue your story. I keep interrupting.
No, that's fine. It's better to go off on tangents. I know people might get bored with this story, but yeah. So anyway, there were these other clan. There was this other clan called Night Fort, which was the 3rd highest clan, and this clan was really kind of existed outside of the hierarchy of the other ones. They really did their own thing. They had good kind of ethics about how they ran their clan and stuff like that, and so they would butt heads with the other people who wanted to take their top players to put them into their gem clans and stuff like that. And they were like, no, we want to play together. We're friends. This is our clan. And which is really, turned out
I
how
hope
most
those
people.
jammers are exchanging gift cards at Christmas and shit like that.
I don't know. I hope
Spend
so.
it wisely.
Thousands of dollars, $10,000 gift card or something. Otherwise, it's
Yeah.
not worth anything to them, probably. But yeah, it's shocking how much money people spend apparently. But I don't know, whatever floats your boat. But yeah, so there was a lot of tension, and so finally there was an exodus. There was one guy who his name was Medic. He kind of oversaw all the lower clans in the family, and with what little communication he would get from the top people, they had talked a lot about just getting rid of the lower clans so they could concentrate more on the higher level clans, and do these lower clans really actually benefit the top clan, because really that's all that should matter, is that the top clan, becomes stronger. And so he was pretty pissed because he spent all this time helping, these lower level players, and running their clans. And so finally he just got fed up and he was like, fuck this, I'm leaving. And so all of the leaders of the lower level clans had a decision to make whether they were going to leave with him or stay. And the majority, I think 3 out of the 4 lower clans all left with him to make a family called the Oasis. And so the idea was that it was very idyllic and very relaxed, not
In the
because
middle of the fucking desert, away from all the shit.
exactly, yeah. So there was so many rules and just all this
So
shit
let me
that
ask
got
you, who was the leaders at that time? Were they, you know what I mean? Like,
the leaders of the lower
yeah,
clans.
the lower clans.
Well, every clan had, I think it was like this in every clan. They all had 2 leaders, like a leader and a co-leader. And I think in some clans they were equals, but in a lot of clans it was kind of like a president, vice president kind of thing. It was never super clear exactly. But all clans had 2 leaders, just in case, the leader gets busy or something happens. You don't want the clan to be
Shot in the head.
yeah, screwed over. So there's always someone that can, do you ever hear the term pass the hat, or the leader position called the hat?
No, I don't think, but
Oh.
I've heard passing the hat.
That's like
torch.
it's like a very I mean, like I hear that, but maybe it's just, in the clans that I've been in, it's called, if you're the leader, you're called, it said, that you have the hat. And so when one leader passes it to another one, it's called passing the hat. And anyway, I just wasn't sure if that was a, common.
No, and we have a much different experience, and that's why I think it's really cool to hear about, because, I've been in Minnesota Nice, and we just have had Minnesota Nice, and
Yeah.
and
No, definitely. This is a
probably
lot.
90% of us are elders,
Hmm.
you know.
Yeah, which makes sense. I mean, like, because there is a, kind of a general wisdom in Clash of Clans that, like, if you see a clan with, more than a third of the players are elders, then it's, a bullshit clan. Just, I think, simply because there's those clans on global who say, join me, get free elder, stuff like that. And so
Oh,
many shitty clans, everyone's an elder, or most people are elders. But I think in a lot of really good elite clans where everyone's been there together and everyone's trusted, everyone's an elder just because they all have earned that, respect and that responsibility of being able to accept people and boot people.
and I think it was with us, it was, and I came in later, a couple months after it formed, but it was, if you get into the top 10, you become elder.
Mm-hmm.
And then you drop trophies or whatever. And so people started doing that. But then if you've been there for over a month or 2 months, a lot of people have been there for 3 months, and it's like,
Mm-hmm.
well, give them elder. They've been here,
Yeah.
And
Well,
everybody
and
agreed with that. And like nobody like protested when the only time that anybody protested was when it was called the Purge. And
oh, I remember hearing
if
about
you're
this.
listening out there, this means no offense.
These are
To
the people
you.
that wanted the Minnesota Nice 2 or whatever, right? The
Yeah,
feeder
yeah,
clan.
like the feeder clan, and it started to get really like awkward and weird, like in the chat and stuff, and we were like, what, what's going on? And then Hansel spoke up and said something like, "Is it just me or?" Yeah, I can't even remember what he said, but
Or these bastards super annoying that are telling us how to dictate our clan
yeah,
policy, and they just got here.
yeah,
Something
or they,
along those lines.
this person should be kicked out, and it's like, well, no, all of us have been playing for this
Yeah.
long. We just, stick around, help each other out. It wasn't. I guess it's Minnesota nice,
Mhm.
living in
That's
Minnesota. It's
true.
like, hey, okay.
Mhm.
But yeah. And so eventually, like, if you've been there for a month or so, we'll give you elder, because it's not like you have to, be producing or, or
Well,
whatever, because
and
everybody did. I mean, everybody that has been there from, because it wasn't clan hopping, and that's why, like, in talking to other people on the podcast and stuff, when you just go between clans just for fun,
mm-hmm.
like that doesn't. I mean, people just don't leave the clan. There's
Yeah.
this one night that Nelson in our clan, who had been there, I think just a little bit after me, but then he left without a word. And we were
Mm-hmm.
like, what the fuck is going on?
Mm-hmm.
Nelson just left. And then you can go see where he went, right?
Yeah, if he's still, unless it's scrolled down, 100 messages or whatever, you can always see where they are.
And it looked like he was in a clan with his 2 kids.
Oh,
And come to find out the next day that his son took his account and kicked him out and joined his kid's account.
so it's so much shit happens like that. It's pretty funny.
All right, keep going. I don't know where you were in the story,
Oh,
but
well, one thing I wanted to mention, and maybe I'll talk about this later too, but the thing that I don't agree with about your guys' policy is the top 10 trophy having, the people with the most trophies making elder, because for one thing, it should never really be unless you're in one of those top, clans, it should never really be encouraged to have or that should never be the focus of the game, because I used to think that was it's all about getting trophies, and then I realized it's really about finding a sweet spot to farm,
yeah.
and then sometimes do a trophy push, together to see how high you
It,
can get and stuff.
that stopped. I'll have to say that stopped probably about 5 months ago.
Because some brand new person could jump in, right, and then grab elder, and then
Well,
not
yeah,
be
because
it.
we realized, like, okay, this person's in, and he's, but then there's Boneyard down at 50 or 49,
Yeah.
rating town hall level 1s,
Uh-huh.
you know.
Which is, I mean, I guess I get it in terms of hiding your resources. That makes sense, but
Well,
it's not
at the time, it was a
efficient.
different game, I think,
Hmm.
you
That's a
know,
good point. Yeah.
where, and he was down there, well, I'll just send in 5 minions, or I'll send in 5 barbs, and, this crushes. But you can't really do that anymore since they started scaffolding the, town
Oh,
hall.
the penalties.
Yeah.
The hmm
So you would see like the top 10, and it would be like, well, there's people that are farming, and so now it's really about, if you stay around long enough, then
hmm
you get to be elder.
which is, I think, I mean, because you'll see, in some clans that I'm in, like some of the top, some of the elders are, even lower level people who are just really cool and really loyal, or people, who have very, very few trophies, but they're doing that for a reason, and stuff like that. And
Yeah. And I don't know
so
if you remember me talking about D5000.
sounds familiar.
He was he's one of Boneyard's, or one of our friends, I guess. And he just got elder the other day, and I'm like, why didn't he get elder a couple months ago? Because he was really low level, and he didn't, he wasn't really like donating troops. And at that
Mm-hmm.
point I was like, well, you have to accept lower level troops from people.
Yeah. hmm
You can only give these troops. And I'm like, no, that's not, is
hmm
a elder or somebody else higher up. Your
hmm
job is to take whatever you can get,
Absolutely, absolutely. I feel the same way about that. Well,
and then you
depends.
look at your clan castle, and then, okay, well, send them in first,
Hmm
let them get butchered behind whatever. But I think that, that's a duty of,
Well, it definitely depends on the clan, because sometimes if I'm you know, in a clan family and I'm helping out a lower clan, then I can't be a dick about, don't give me any level, 2 or 3 archers, blah, blah, blah. Because some people are like that, only, in their request, only level 5 and higher. And it's like, if you're in a clan with a bunch of people with level 3 archers, then they're not going to be able to get any donations in if you put these restrictions. So, but then on the other hand, if you're in a high level clan and somebody comes in, you're being competitive or whatever, and someone comes in with really shitty troops, then it
bef-
can suck. So,
before I ask you the next question, let me
mhm.
ask, what is your message on when you donate your troops?
When I request,
Yeah.
my most common one is drag slash P.E.K.K.A slash dark slash arch, which
Okay.
means usually just end well. Really, in my clan, usually end up with a dragon and some archers, or a bunch of archers. But then it also, lets people know that before you donate archers, leave 10 seconds or whatever for people to donate a dragon or a P.E.K.K.A if they have that, or if they have minions or something. Just leave a little time, for
Okay, wait,
anyone to
say it
notice
again.
that.
Say it again. I want to get this.
Oh, what I
Yeah,
say in my thing.
how you do it and what it means. And
So
do
I
people
say,
get it?
yeah. Well, I mean, drag is I mean, I assume people understand that that's a term for dragon, just like barbs is a
Oh,
term for
I just
barbarian.
thought it was a dressed up hog rider.
No, no, that's not. No, it's not like a Barb King with a wig or something like
Oh,
that.
okay.
No, it's
It would be
so
fun though.
yeah, what? But yeah. So drag slash P.E.K.K.A. So those are like the two main. Because in my clan, people don't have witches. I can't hold a golem in my clan castle because I only have
Yeah, me either.
25 spaces, and so those are the two good troops, and so those are the ones I would most prefer to have. Probably not a P.E.K.K.A if I'm going to bed for the night. It's not really very good for defense, I assume. um, but so then it kind of lets people know, and this is just kind of common knowledge in the clans I've been in, that if someone writes dragon or P.E.K.K.A in there, you let it sit, you let the request sit for a while in case there's someone who has a dragon or a P.E.K.K.A, they can put it in there. Because otherwise, if someone pops in some archers right away, and then someone was like, dude, I had a drag ready for him, but I'd only had a split second to try to do it or whatever. And so
Yeah, and
yeah.
that's a lot different from our clan because we usually just request, and it's like most people will go, "I got a dragon ready if
Mhm.
anybody wants one," and then they'll throw it up. But that's what's really cool, like talking to people from other clans is
Mhm.
learning about how that works uh, and everything like that. So
And that's what we used to do when before they had the new update with the specific troop request thing. We'd say in advance, hey, this is just for a dragon, or whatever, and or someone would say, hey, I have a dragon, okay, you're ready, and then do it. But we still do that. Someone will say, I have a dragon, you want one? Or someone will say, anyone have a dragon? And they say, okay, are you ready? And et cetera, et cetera. But if you're not doing that, if you're just typing out a thing, and also every clan I've been in, there's a rule of default donation of archers. Um,
yeah,
so have you heard of that as a common thing?
yes,
That
I have.
so that's
That's when I was in British Knights. They
mhm,
said archers only.
mhm,
But I always got my donations because I had like level 5 minions, and that was much easier to donate
mhm.
for me than it
Everyone
was.
wants level 5 minions.
Yeah, but like it just said archers only, and it would be because then I could get my troop donations up to 10
Hmm.
with 5.
Yeah, or 20 or 25, depending if you have a dragon or a P.E.K.K.A or whatever.
Yeah, I
I've
just
only
keep my
met.
minions, but because I train 20 minions at a time, that's usually my normal take in.
Hmm.
And so everything else is taking way longer. So it's easier for me to throw in 5 level 5 minions.
Hmm. Yeah, and also, if someone has a 20 spot, clan castle, and someone tosses in something right away, so you can't give them a dragon, it's a lot easier to give, a bunch of minions or whatever, than, because you only need 10 spots instead of 20 spots or whatever.
So let me just ask, so where are you at in the game?
I am currently level 74. I'm Town Hall level 8. I've been Town Hall 8 for a few weeks now. I don't know. I guess I don't really keep track of things very well in terms of, time in
Yeah.
outside the game, kind of thing. But I'd say I'm maybe, I don't know, maybe a third to a halfway through Town Hall level 8.
I
Just 'cause I
burned
have
past it only because I could get that second drill.
that. I mean, that is really, because I mean, Archer Queen would be cool and stuff, but especially listening to the podcast and listening to you talk about that, that is, because I mean, I immediately upped my drill to level 3, but that's it. I can't go
Yeah, you
any
can't
higher,
get
and
much more than that.
sucks. Yeah, it really. So that is tempting, but I just, when I moved from level 7 to level 8, the farming was so much worse that at 8 than it was at 7.
Where
So
are
I
you
was
at on
like,
trophies?
I am right now. I am sitting in like mid 1500s.
Okay.
That's higher than I usually farm at, though. I was helping to recruit for a clan in our family. So I got Crystal in order to bring in players and stuff. Get like different high level people will go to lower level clans in order to kind of pump them up and draw in higher players to make the clan better and stuff like that. So I was at, about 2100 or something for a while, but it's just, you don't get resources. I mean, it's good, and helps the clan and stuff, but it really sets you back in terms of your own development of your base, and that's really what I mean.
Well, and I think it sets the whole clan back
That's true.
because yeah, it's fine to go up in rankings, but if you're think about the very beginning of the game, you could go out and do it, but if you don't have any defense, you don't have, all that stuff, then you're going to just keep getting hammered.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what a lot of people do. You'll see, someone at silver 1 or gold 3 or something with a ridiculously bad base, who they're just, like, oh, I need to get as many trophies as possible. This is great. I'm this high up, and they're developing so much more slowly than if they were locating the right farming spot and, working right there to build up their resources, build up their base, because the distance that you can push depends completely on your base. Like,
Yeah.
if you can only max at a certain level until.
That's what I was saying to Boneyard is I think that wherever you're at, there's only a certain level you can get to.
Absolutely, there's a ceiling there.
Yeah, there's a
Absolutely.
ceiling, and at that ceiling, then it's just fucking around. I mean, it's like, well, I hope, but then you see the stragglers that come in that rush to Town Hall 10.
Oh my.
You can get some back, but I mean, really, I think depending on your troops, what you take in, all that kind of stuff. That's one thing. So do you want to finish up your story?
Oh yeah. So I guess the ending. I'm towards the end of my clan saga that I was going through. So we left, formed a clan called the Oasis, or actually there was 3 clans, because there were so many people that left. So there was. What?
Can I make an observation at this point?
Yeah,
I
definitely.
think it's kind of cool that you call it a clan or a family.
Yeah, I don't really know how else to describe like the group of clans, but it's cool because like I see like why it's cool to be in, the one clan, because I really like my home clan with my guys. Like, it's definitely like where I spend the majority of my time, but it's nice to.
It's like having cousins.
Yeah, it's like you go out, you like visit other clans, and visit higher level clans to get, a bunch of level 6 troops or something, or you visit lower level clans to give them, my level 5 troops, and they're like, oh my god, level
So
3 dragon.
you move in between the clans in your family.
Yeah, like I'll help out like the lower, if they're having trouble, or something like that, then I'll go and help out, and help recruit better people, or help, I don't know, just with organizational stuff, or, if they have lost elders for some reason. I'm an elder in the family, so I can go over there and, provide some leadership and
That's cool.
stuff like
So
that.
when you get back, they have to give you elder status back.
Oh yeah, well yeah, yeah. I mean, it's not like a half, like in my own clan, I'm kind of a co-leader, but there's like about 10 of us that are leaders together. Well, so here I'll get to that. So we left the Clash of Thrones. Hopefully this isn't super boring for everyone listening, but it's
No,
almost
it's
over.
not. It's fascinating for me. I don't give a shit what people listening think.
All right. So we went
I'd
to
listen to this.
the aptly named Oasis. Then there was the Oasis 2K, and Oasis 3K to accommodate, the 150 or so people that left. And it was a huge, drama there. People were so angry, why did we do this, blah, blah, blah. And so then we, had this new family, and it was a lot more relaxed. Like the Clash of Thrones had a lot of rules and policies, and which was fun
Beheadings.
at the time to, kind of be in this like hierarchy structure where you earn,
Beheadings. You missed my joke on that one.
yeah. If you earn, cred, and I don't know, different stuff. But it gets kind of old, and especially gets old when you're, uh, kind of forced to move apart from your friends, your, group of clanmates that you're used to being with. So the
Yeah.
Oasis had, those built on the idea that there wouldn't be all these rules and stuff. It'd be more relaxed and chill and stuff. And so ever since then, the Oasis has been expanding. Just as we get in, some more people have come over from the other family, and then we've just also, been bringing in new people that see us and join and stuff.
So
And,
you're currently in the Oasis?
well, so I was in the Oasis. Then we had the Oasis 4K was another clan that was added, and there was a clan called Midnight Black that someone in one of the Oasis clans made a kind of a spin-off clan that was also part of the family. So there was 5 clans in the family. But
Sounds
myself,
like the mafia.
yeah, kind of is.
The family.
But yeah, who's the top earners and stuff like that.
Rule
But
number 1, nobody talks about the family. Rule number 2, nobody talks about the family.
exactly. But
You're about to get a Clash Clan beat down.
you're about to get your ass raided. But oh yeah, so my guys and I, that we were the elders from our clan, the Iron Sons, and we all ended up in this one clan together. Like some of the other clans, they moved over as a whole. So like the second Oasis clan, all 50 of their members moved over together to a new clan. Whereas the clan that I was in, it was kind of 2 or 3 clans kind of mishmashed together. And there was a ton of, everyone that was an elder was still an elder. There's tons of elders, and there just wasn't, it was a lot of fun, especially at first. It was a lot of fun to play with these people who were kind of, very well known from the other family and stuff. But it didn't have the same feeling, when we had our own clan that we ran, and it was, we talk a lot of shit. We use a lot of profanity, a lot of could be very, very immature. We are pretty ruthless with shitty clan members, of kicking them out if they're acting like a piece of shit, or if they're
my worst
totally
nightmare would be getting into a clan and not being able to say that's what she said.
Exactly.
About 50 times.
Our that's what she said is nutsack. We always say we're never going to be a clan unless you can say nutsack in the chat, and
Nice.
that's been our rule of thumb. So we're known as the nutsacks unofficially.
Teabag.
But so we kind of just wanted our same camaraderie back, our old clan back. So we made our own clan. So we were the Iron Sons. So our new clan is called the True Sons. And so the about 10 or 12 of us that were the elders from the other clan moved over, started this new clan, and kind of started slowly bringing people in who used to be in the Iron Sons.
Sorry,
And
keep going.
well, and so then we also just kind of got new people that came in from outside that that requested to join us, people that we recruited from global, high level people that
Join us.
I suck at that. I'm not good at recruiting from global, but there's some people who are really really good. Especially this guy named Derek, who is he's one of the top people in the
Do
family.
you want to give any shout outs to your clan right now?
I guess I'm giving shout outs the one person I would give a special shout out to is Trix. That's my homeboy. So
Trix?
What's up, Trix? If you ever listen to this. TRX. Well, it's 805 TRIX. And that's my but yeah, I guess I'm giving shout outs to everyone as I go along. But there's this guy in particular, Derek.
So if you want to check out Boaz's camp, go to True Sons.
Yeah.
And look at his camp, see what he's doing.
I just update about my camp. I just finished all purple walls. I was all purple at Town Hall 7 before going to 8, and I finally got all my extra wall pieces up to purple, and now I have 2 skull pieces. So those are going to be coming very slowly.
I'm not going to black.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think it's a waste of time right now.
It's kind of a competition thing within my clan, within our core of elders. The walls are a very lot of shit talking about walls, and kind of a sign of your manhood. How good your walls are and stuff. So
yeah.
So there's probably an irrational desire to upgrade my walls.
I went to purple. I think purple is me and Boneyard disagree on. Is it pink and purple?
Mm-hmm.
The blue. Is it blue or is it purple?
Well, I was never sure why you guys called it purple and blue. I thought it was pretty clear that it was pink and purple, but I guess could see blue.
Or wait, no, did he win or did I win? I'm not sure.
I don't remember which, but one of you guys kept saying blue, and I was like, those are not blue.
Purple.
But if you're not comfortable in your masculinity and you don't want to have purple walls,
I have all purple walls. But I'm not going to black.
Yeah.
Because I feel like at this point, especially after the witch,
mm-hmm.
that I think it's a waste of money. I mean, I would rather throw my money into mortars, wizards, and everything else first.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I have gold to just, come out of my ass, then I will start doing my walls. But I think up to a point, up to that purple wall,
mm-hmm.
that is...
Well, I remember when going from 750,000 for pink to 200,000 for purple was like, wow, this is ridiculous. And now 200,000 for a wall piece seems like a bargain now that the new ones are 500,000, and that's so much gold. And you need to at least a couple raids.
There's no way I'm going to get my expo,
mm-hmm.
my level 2 expo, if I do those walls.
Mm-hmm.
Unless I have gems, and I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
But I also, I think those black walls are big deterrents.
Mm-hmm. Oh, definitely.
Because you see them and you go, huh? But I think with minions now, they're really cheap if you
and hog riders don't, they don't have to worry about the walls.
And the jump spell. I mean, I think there are ways to get through it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm in a kind of a spot now because I want to keep upgrading these walls, but I have all these defenses to upgrade. Now, whenever you upgrade a town hall level right away, maybe I should get to this later. Maybe I'll finish the thing about I guess I'm not sure if I finished the thing about my clan. So now we have been recruiting a lot. Now we're up to almost 50 members, and I think all members are at least level 5 archers. I think there's a few that are on their
So
way
you
there.
you are an archer clan.
So we, yeah, definitely default donation is archers, and
See,
that's
and
how we.
I think the definite default should be barbs.
Yeah, I don't really use bar. I mean, now I kind of do, but the vast majority of the game I never even used barbs.
So we haven't even got to this yet.
Yeah, we haven't got to my attacking strategies or
Yeah,
anything
what do
like
you
that.
attack with?
Well, maybe we should do the. Oh wait, we already started this. Yeah. Okay.
Hmm.
Anyway,
I'm getting
I
ahead of myself. See, you're
no,
good
no.
because you're
Now I'm
going,
the one
wait,
keeping
no,
you
no,
on.
you're getting ahead of me.
Well, hold on. Let me just finish this thing then.
All right.
So that's how a lot of clans are. You need to have this many trophies to be in our clan. Blah blah blah. But really, I mean, how many trophies one member has does not affect the other members. The only thing that affects each other is the troops that you're donating. So I mean,
That's a really good point.
yeah, I mean, if you really break it down, their level doesn't matter. Their base only matters in that if they have a good base, then they're probably good at the game and they're going to be able to get, higher level troops and stuff. But their trophies don't matter. Nothing really matters to me, about any other members of my clan except the troops that they can give me. And that's really the only interaction that you have with
Well,
them. So,
and that's true because if you think about it, that is the only thing that makes everybody else stronger.
exactly. That's how you benefit well, there's that's the normally the main way, but trophies can help you benefit the clan. There's kind of like a symbiosis between having trophies and farming efficiently. Like if you have a lot of trophies, you can bring in higher level players who are they see a lot of crystal people or master people or whatever, and they say, wow, I want to be in that clan. So then you bring in people who have high level troops, level 6 troops, a level 4 dragons, stuff like that. But it's really the point of the trophies is in order to bring in those troops. That's really the only true way that you're helping each other.
That's a
um,
really good point.
yeah, and so, but if someone spends too much time on trophies, then their base is going to suffer. They're not going to be able to farm as well. They're going to fall
Well,
behind in
that's
terms
why I
of
run into these weaklings I accidentally keep gaining trophies and I really need to drop them because I
Mhm,
keep hitting it like 1850 right now. And I'm like, well, I'm running into like my match,
mhm. Well, I mean,
but I need gold. So I
so
got to go down. But you know what? That happened ever since the uh, when they changed it to leagues. The league system changed
uh
everything, I think.
yeah, because I mean, for one thing, the badges. Everyone wants to have a cool looking badge. Like if
Yeah,
you have a
I'm a
purple
gold
badge,
one.
then yeah.
That's the best thing they could have done because people would have been farming forever.
hmm Yeah, that's. I mean, and the
Boneyard
other
would be
thing
down there
is,
at Town Hall Level 1, hanging out.
which there's no good loot down there, but I do
Yeah,
see where you'd hide your loot from attackers, which is actually a really good point if you're waiting for builders to free up or whatever. But yeah, they no, I forgot what I was talking about.
we
Um,
always do, doesn't we? It doesn't
I,
matter.
I guess I'm one of you now. But yeah. Oh, so the other thing about the league system is the loot bonuses after the battles, and they're not really big enough to be that much of a motivation, but they are nice. Like, especially if you're up at, I don't know, whatever it is, gold 1 or
Yeah, you know what
crystal,
I
where it's
say
like
is I think it's a
13,000.
pretty good bonus. And when it first started, everybody was fucking complaining about it, and I'm like,
Mhm.
look, that's how many hours from one pump or mine? That's like an
Yeah.
extra minor pump.
And it's all, I mean, when there's some level you get up to where it's like 13,000 of each. And when I'm trophy pushing, I usually use a very cheap army, so that I doesn't
What's the
take,
highest trophy count you got?
I think just under 2,100
Jesus Christ.
trophies.
At level 74?
I was probably in the maybe, yeah, like high 60s when I did that, or maybe about 70 or so, something like that.
Jesus, I'm at 94. Well, I suppose if you trophy pushed instead of went for, because I always go for loot.
Yeah, and which is what I normally always do. And I really only go for uh, all 90% of the time when I raid, I only go for pumps and mines. So I find bases where they have a lot of loot, but you can look in the storages and see that the storages are empty, or at least they seem empty.
All
It's
right,
just
well, let's
so
talk
annoying.
about this week then. If you're talking
Oh
about
yeah,
going
good
for
idea.
loot. So this week, Supercell, or not Supercell, but Clash of Clans did its 1 year anniversary, gave us all a 1 gem speed up of all of
Pretty
our
fucking
resources,
awesome. Yeah.
which fucking was amazing.
Yeah, it not only, I mean, has the obvious benefit for you. Like I calculated out for myself, it was about like when I first started it at the beginning of the week, it was going to be about 6 million gold, 6 million elixir, and about like 8,000 dark elixir or something like extra, on top of what I normally
And see,
would
I'm
get.
running at normally like the top, the dark elixir is I think at 100 an hour.
Yeah, you asshole with your level 6 pumps and stuff. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
that was my first, but I'm sitting at 50,000 dark elixir now in the
Jesus.
last couple days because I've been riding my shields because I'm like, you know what? I don't think I can get that much. Well,
It,
my witch got done. But I'm like, I don't think I can cash in that much on the dark elixir yet.
and this is
Because
really
level 2
interesting.
witch is 75,000 dark elixir.
You mean 7,500? I'm assuming, or 750.
75,000 dark elixir.
Oh, to upgrade to it.
Yeah.
They meant to make each one. I was like,
No,
dude.
it's 250. So it's less than the golem.
It is interesting.
So I'm at 51, but which means that people can only take 2,000 from me.
Yeah.
At the max, but they still don't get inside. And I still have my town hall outside, and most of the time they just go for that, which is nice.
Well, as a dark elixir pimp such as yourself,
Dark elixir economy.
Dark elixir economy overlord, do you suffer a lot of lightning spell attacks, I assume, on your dark elixir storage? What?
I haven't got a lightning attack in.
Why? Why not?
I have no idea.
Oh, this is a good question. Maybe one of the listeners out there knows why Scotty, who sits with 50,000,
You know why?
dark
I
elixir.
think it's because I upgraded my dark elixir container to like the highest it could go.
Then it has so many hit points.
200,000 is the max, and the hit points went way down. So they're not going to get much. But if they get my drills, then they could take something. So, like in the last day, I can look at this.
But I mean, even if you had
I got
big
660 taken, 938, but that was 1 day and 14 hours ago. So I lost 86 2 days ago. So I've lost that much, but I'm making now in 8 hours about 1,600 dark elixir per drill.
Jeez. So this is interesting. So Scotty and I we were just talking about this. We have completely separate tactics for this week-long, resource bonanza that's going on. He said, "Oh, I'm riding my shields," and I was like, "Why in the hell would you ride your shields? The raids right now are at record highs. And he said, because I'm getting so much from my drills. And I was like, I never would have thought of that with my pathetic, level 3 drill, only one of them. I don't have, this glut of dark elixir that Scotty has. And so I am spending this. Oh, what?
No, keep going. Keep going. You're right on.
So I'm spending this week farming as much as I can, trying to go at everyone's pumps and mines. I mean, I've been getting 500,000, 500,000, 2,000, raids a couple times, and averaging, probably 500,000 combined
Nice.
for a decent raid when nothing goes wrong, such as it looking like it's going to be in the pumps and mines and then turning out that it's actually in the storages, which is a horrible, annoying thing when you're like, okay, this person has 300,000 of each. The storages look completely empty. So I'm going to go for the pumps and mines. And then it just turns out that their storages are so big and they have so many of them that even with all that, even with all those resources, they're still all in the collectors or in the storage.
All right. Well, that concludes the first part of my interview, I guess, with Boaz. So look for it coming out. Remember, you can contact us at clashclanspodcast.com. Leave us a comment on the blog or give us a call at 424-27-CLASH. So keep it clashy, everybody. Skilly beep 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 skilly beep.